I mean, look how beautiful this thing is. Look. I need to get two so I can use one to take photos of the other. I wanted to check how much swing made all that difference. Look here. You see? You see that these two planes are not the same?
Yeah.
That's how much swing we added.
That wasn't that much, but the difference is so noticeable.
Hey Crunchy Fingers, welcome back to another episode. Today is a very special one for me, at least, because I've been looking forward to do this for a long time. And I almost didn't make a video because I didn't have so much time with this camera, but here I am doing this as best as I can, so I hope you like it. It's special for me because this is the first time that I try a large format camera, a 4x5. So here's this video for you who might encounter one of these. Maybe I can tell you everything I learned. This is a Linhof Technika 3 Model 2, and the way you're able to know which model it is, if you look down here when you open it, you will see a serial number, and there's a guide online that will tell you, according to the serial number, which model it is, and hopefully you can find a manual if that's something you'd be looking for. So now it's ready to be used, actually, and here is the film holder that you just slide in. But let me show you how it folds, because it does fold pretty nicely. So this is our camera. It has a nice handle here, and it's a nice slim looking package. It's a solid body. It feels very solid to me, and it's not so heavy, but it feels sturdy enough to, like, you can be confident with it using it. And I will show you how quick it is and easy to use. Keep in mind, I've only had this camera for a week, and this time I was able to get very comfortable with it. And I think you'll be too, because it's very simple and easy. So let's try to get it ready to shoot. So you open the bed. You pull your lens out. Now it's in a wide angle position. I have a 50 equivalent millimeter on it, so I need to slide it to the second position. Click the button, pull it forward, and it clips in the place. I make sure that my shutter is on T mode and it's open, and then open up the hood on the back, and I can see stuff right here. You can see my hand through. You can see it's upside down and reversed. So yeah, now I'm ready to look at my composition. I can have very nice control here with the rise and fall. Here on the side, you have a knob that you can use to extend your bellows. And that's how you focus on closer objects. And if you want to focus really close and you run out of extension, the first thing that you can do is that you can release these hooks right here to give yourself more bellows to keep going forward. And the other thing that you can do if you're using a longer lens, I assume, is to extend the back standard. You just take your preloaded film in your film holder, and you take your dark slide out, take your light reading with your light meter, and then you set your desired shutter speed, cock your shutter, and then take a picture. I didn't know that large format cameras do have this, but this one right here has a rangefinder, so you can actually, and it's coupled to the focusing bed, so you can actually look through here and move this knob that controls your bellows or your front standard, and there's a rangefinder in there that will, like the normal rangefinders that you're used to. You will have two images, and when they match, you're in focus. This one is not calibrated though, because I noticed when I have a focused image here on a rangefinder, it will be a little bit off. But if you find one with one of those working, I don't know who's stopping you then to take handheld large format photos. On the back, we have, as I said, the viewing hood. This is for you if you don't have a cloth or if you just want to see your composition really quick. It was very useful to me while using this one. And then if you want to check your focus with the loop, you can open and you have your viewing glass exposed. You can come closer, put the loop right on it and check your focus. It also has a rotating back, so you can take horizontal images. On the back you have these thumb screws that you can just loosen and extend your camera more if you're using a long lens. You might be able to do some back movement. I haven't tried this, so I'm going to be doing it for the first time on video. So yeah, now I have a back standard tilt and I can just tighten everything back. Now we have back tilt on a back standard, and this will make the objects in your foreground appear larger, and if you do the opposite, it will make the objects on the top of your image appear larger. Again, the final image, because here you're seeing it reverse. But let's put it back together really quickly. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, but in comparison to a more technical camera, this is a hassle with 4 screws. I believe monorails and stuff like that will have a dedicated control knob or screw for these kind of movements. Which brings us to the front, where you have your rise and fall. And the rise goes up pretty high, which is, I think, you're going to be using it more than the fall. But you do have some fall as well, where you bring your standard vertically down, and this will control the positioning of your projection on the film. So it's, instead of moving the actual camera up or down, you just move the lens. And you also have side shift, which is the same thing but moving side to side. You also have these nice lines to make it zeroed out, so to bring it back to the original position. And you also have swing, which will basically rotate your front standard side to side, and that will control your focus plane. So let's say you're focusing on this object. This is directly facing the camera, but if it was like this and you have a very shallow depth of field, you will have this part in focus, this part will be out of focus. By using swing, you'll be able to match your plane of focus to this plane. But that's about it, where the fun stops with this camera, because you also, normally in large format, you have a front and a back tilt. Well, this one is a bit tricky. This camera is set up to basically to help you shoot 2 main lenses very quickly. This is the 50, and we can drop it back to the 90, which is a very wide angle. And because it's a very wide angle, this part right here will be in your shot. So to avoid that, you drop the focusing bed, but now your camera is tilted forward, and to fix that, you just tilt it backwards, and now you have 2 parallel standards, which is what you want to take when you take a photo. Otherwise, your focus will be tilted. There is a workaround. I took one photo that I will show you with the front tilt, and the way I achieved that was by dropping the bed down to set it in the 90mm position, and then I tilted my lens a bit forward, and then I released the control. When I went to close my shutter, as I was turning the knob, I applied too much pressure and it dropped back. Luckily, I didn't ruin anything. I just had to reset it up and recheck my focus again to make sure I'm at the right angle, because it doesn't have a stopping position in the tilt. Unlike when you rise and fall, it's gear driven, so you can be very specific. With the tilt, it's not the same thing. So it wasn't intended to do too much tilting, I believe so. When you tilt forward, your focus changes, and you would want to, because your lens is moving forward, so you can't reach infinity anymore unless you focus backward. So there's a nice button here on the side that you can click and move the top plane of your focusing bed manually. And by doing so now I'm behind infinity and I can push forward to hit that point again from the other side, which is pretty cool and a very quick trick to adjust your focus if you choose to do it that way. I'm not sure if it was intended to be used that way, but that's how I was able to get the shot. When I borrowed this camera, I got to borrow another one of these lenses. If I haven't mentioned before, these lenses, they mount on a lens board. The cable release will attach directly to the lens. The shutter is in the lens, and also the flash sync is in the lens. It's right next to the shutter, so you can have a PC sync to your flash. On the top, a cold shoe. Same on the left side. I think this one is a classic one that you know. This one seems to be the same thing. It has a flash sign on it. I'm not sure what this is for, but it's a male hot shoe. You can mount a reverse hot shoe here for some equipment that I'm not aware of. And on top you have a spirit level, which is very handy. So you can just basically set it up, make sure it's leveled even before you look there. That way you keep all your horizontals straight, nothing is falling or back or forward. You just use your eyes to get a higher vantage point or a higher viewing point. With your film options with this camera, you're stuck to 4x5 sheet film. Like usual, you just pull this back, slide it down, and you might think that it has to stop here. Be sure to drop it in all the way so you can see it from the bottom side. My first two pictures, I didn't know that, and they came out more square, sorry, than rectangle. But there was no light leaks or anything. So just be mindful of that. The reason why I bring this up, because you might also want to shoot roll film. A lot of people do apparently shoot roll film. There are a bunch of field cameras that they have compatible backs that you can release basically this whole part in the middle and put other things like instant new 55 film. Can't be shot with this camera, I don't think so. Actually, that one specifically you might be able, because I think they're similar to this one. But roll film, it will not fit here. This is how it is, handheld. It's pretty nice. You know what I mean? You can just set it up like this, handheld, no tripod needed, and pull it all the way to 50. And now you're focusing with a rangefinder. And I got my focus dialed in. I set up my settings, cock the shutter, set the aperture, like so. And now I'm ready to take a photo basically. I just use the rangefinder. I can check my framing really quickly. And then by doing this, my lens is cocked, and now I just take a photo. I think you can actually put a viewfinder here if you can find one that fits the image, just to help you frame better. But yeah, this is pretty handheld. I will never use it that way, but if it's something you are into, you can do it. Before I end this video, I would like to thank Bruno Bildverkstad in Stockholm City in Gamla Stan for lending me this camera. I'm not sure if I'm doing him any good by mentioning. Please don't bother him asking him to lend you cameras. He just did it because he offered to lend me, and I of course accepted gladly. And I hope he doesn't regret it. But what I can say, it's my favorite photo store in Sweden. I get all my film there, and all my chemicals, all my photo gear basically. If he has it, I will buy it first from him. And yeah, he lent me this camera because I was thinking about buying a large format. So he said, take this one, give it a try. If you want it, then you can, you know, see if you want to buy it. But if you are in Stockholm and you need any kind of film related stuff, find Bruno Bildverkstad. It's in the old city, it's hard to miss. It has a green sign that says photo. They're the best. And yeah, I hope I can give something back by giving them a shout out as a thank you for lending me this camera. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. It will help us grow and make you more videos like this. Other than that, thanks again for watching. Hope you're all doing well. Take care. Bye.